Recording in progress.
Is the major factor which is responsible for sending water to the Earth's surface, right? So we have already studied that one. We are just talking about that, right? There are different formations available just to store the water. Storage is important because it is not possible for us to use the water at once. That is not possible, right? We need to store that one for different applications according to our need, right? So the thing is that when you get enough water, it has to be stored properly, right? However, when you are storing water, there is a possibility for you to have certain amount of water evaporated from your storage surfaces. That is also possible, right? So it is also important for us to consider all these processes in a systematic way just to minimize unnecessary losses with an intention of saving water for future generations. You know, water resource is getting contaminated. At the same time, it is considered to be a limited resource all over the world. People are having different policies, people are having different strategies just to manage this resource. So it is important as environmental engineers, we can say, we have to consider processes that are responsible for saving water, right? So we will just talk about that. You see, I have already explained all these. These are some points for your reference. You see the first dot point, the hydrologic cycle is a cyclic movement of water from the sea to the atmosphere and then by precipitation to the earth where it collects in streams and runs back to the sea. I have told you. So we will discuss this one later when you are coming to the second year, first semester of the second year, right? So we will talk about groundwater engineering. During that time, it would be appropriate for us to dig this one deeply, right? So we will do that one when you are coming to the second year. So don't worry about that. So this is a simple strategy. When you get enough precipitation, if you are unable to send all the water into the soil profile, there is a possibility for you to have the surface flow. That surface flow will end up with what? Certain activities that are responsible for taking the water to the sea, right? So that is very, very important for us to consider. The second point, you see, the cycle can be visualized as beginning with the evaporation of water from oceans and land masses and by trees through transpiration. I have already discussed this one. The part of the precipitation will be moving into the soil, that is called infiltration, and the rest will be moving over the surface of the soil, then that is called runoff. This runoff will take a certain amount of water. We can say that's the process of surface movement of the water, right? The water will be taken into the sea. Okay, this is basically due to runoff, right? When you get this water on the surface of the soil, we can say there is a possibility for you to have certain amount evaporated back into the atmosphere. At the same time, I have told you there are plants available on the Earth's surface. So there is a possibility for the plants to absorb the water. Then the absorbed water will be moving into atmosphere back, we can say, through the process called transpiration. It is basically happening through stomata of plants. We have already discussed this one, correct? Right. The vapor is carried by moving air masses, which upon proper condition is condensed to form clouds, which in turn falls as precipitation to the earth. I have told you there are different processes. We have already discussed the formation of precipitation, right? We are forming clouds because of certain thermodynamic processes, we can say. We will be having waterfalls, I can say raindrops developed. Then of course this will reach the earth's surface. Okay, this is the basic concept behind the process of hydrologic cycle. You understood? Yes or no? students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good.
sir.
Please make a note on this. Sakunalingam, can I move? Yes.
No, that's right.
You are writing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Are you all ready to have your online exams? Are you happy? No? Not happy? Shamina,
Yes, sir.
happy to have your online exams? Shamina, can you talk
Yes.
to me, please?
Yes, sir.
Happy or not happy?
Happy, sir.
Okay, good. Everyone is okay with that? Have you got the instructions? No.
No, sir.
Yeah, they are going to give you instructions very soon. The administration will do that. Because, I'm a bit afraid of discussing this one. Because, I have got this experience before. You should have 2 cameras on all the time. Is that possible for you all? No? Not possible or possible? That is one of conditions, okay, required for sitting in that examination. Can you all be able to do that? Abhishan,
Yes, sir. It's difficult, sir.
everyone is having certain problems, so what do you say?
Even we have a two mechanical instrument, then sudden power cut comes, it's difficult to manage the problem.
Is it possible for you to have standby power service? No. Backup power? No, that is not possible.
No, sir.
Okay. Shamina, they are having certain issues. Please have a chat with your friends, okay? As you get official instructions, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Manashi, are you ready for the online examination?
Yes, sir.
Are you happy to have it?
Yes, sir. But sometimes network issues will occur.
That's a problem. Yeah. So we will have formal meeting later, right? Just to discuss these things. Vidushana, are you happy to have online examination? Vidushana, are you available? No? Not available?
Yes, sir. This time also we have power cut, so that's the main problem.
Yeah, you are correct. Yes, I agree. Yes. Because, it is, of course, automatic. If you miss that time duration, that question will go, right? You cannot return.
Yes, sir. This we came out from the question paper LMS page.
Yeah. Yes, LMS, automatic setup. So we will be having structured questions. We will be having multiple choices. We will have some open book questions. You have to type. You should have that capacity to type quickly. Are you all having that ability? No. What about your typing speed? Are you all able to type quickly? No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes. Then yes, we will see. Satkunalingam, are you happy to have online examination?
Yes, sir. But physically is good. But
So if I ask you, if I ask you all to go for online examination to complete AEN units, what would you say? One answer, yes or no. I'm randomly asking because I'm here to help you, right? So your comments are highly important for me to make a decision just to complete all these units that are relevant to agricultural engineering. You got the point? I'm basically responsible for my department and I will look after my department. But students who are working with me should be happy all the time. That is my primary concept, right? Therefore, I'm just getting your comments. So if I ask that question, what would be your answer? Tamina?
Yes, sir.
Yes is the answer, correct? Yeah, it's not a matter because you should have a chat with your friends because we are finishing certain units. This is a time for us to start our quiz exams. Then of course we will have some assignments. This is common for mathematics and again for the applied hydrology, right? But the thing is that if you are missing certain exams, of course it's a disaster for you because these components will be taken for your final grading. You have to be very careful with each exam. So that my expectation is that you all should be in a position to have proper facilities before making a decision to go for online examination. You got the point?
Yes, sir.
You should have facilities, you should have smartphones, you should have cameras on, you should have backup system for your power, you should have enough bandwidth. Everything should be perfect. Then only you can go with questions that are set automatically. You got the point?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
we will discuss proper instructions later. This is just an introduction, just to make you aware of online examination process. Okay, this is common for agricultural engineering. Maybe it is common for all other departments. But the thing is that as far as agricultural engineering is concerned, I can tell you that one. We are basically targeting, students' happiness, right? If it is making you stressful, you just talk to us well in advance, right? Because, I am asking this question all the time when I teach you. I mean, it is important for you to give me your real feedback so that I can make some decisions that are making you all happy. You understood? Yes or no?
Understood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good, right. Okay, with that note, I will move to the next one. These are some points we have already discussed. I will just, I will just explain these points for your reference. You just have a look at it. The greater part of water which falls on the land is temporarily retained in the soil and returns to the atmosphere by evaporation and transpiration by plants. We have already discussed, right? The portion of water which enters the soil forms part of the groundwater and flows back to the stream. We have already discussed streams. We have already discussed groundwater. Groundwater means, we will discuss this one when you are coming to your first semester of the second year, right? So we will discuss that. Another portion of it, okay, we will see, okay? It flows parallel to the soil surface and enters the stream. So we have studied subsurface flow, we have studied seepage, we have studied percolation, we have studied depercolation. Everyone knows that, right? This portion of water does not hit the water table and is called lateral flow. We have already discussed, right? If you are able to have certain water movements laterally within the soil surface, of course, that's very different, right? There is also the overland flow, which just moves on the surface of the soil into the stream. That is also possible. Okay, streams, I have already told you, streams are basically water sources used for different purposes, right? So please make a note on this. Shamina, we have got some new students.
Yes, sir.
How many? Today, no? Any
No,
new
sir.
student?
Today, no, sir.
Just, I mean, this week? No.
No, sir. Last week.
Last week, I mean, first engineering class. I mean, they are attending this one as their first engineering class. You have got some students like that?
Yes, sir.
How many? Shamina, please let me know these things well in advance so that I can make some arrangements just to, because they are sending some messages, okay? Just to look after them.
Okay, sir.
How many?
3 students.
Are they available? Can you please introduce them?
Yes, sir.
Today, Shamina, now altogether how many? Today, Shamina, we have got only 119 students. Yes?
Yes.
Where are
Sir,
they?
some students go to take their vaccine.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, 120, say, I mean, say example, yes, 120, more than 25 students. Yes. Yes, they are absent today. Correct?
Yes, sir.
It is a significant margin, right?
Yes, sir.
Shamina, please, as a representative of this batch, your responsibility is to make them aware of these lectures and again examination procedures. If they are not attending, because I'm not forcing you to do anything, because that is your decision. You have got your own maturity. But as a lecturer, I should do my duties properly. If you write correct answers, if you perform well in your examination, you can have good grades. Otherwise, if you are unable to reach required level of knowledge for passing this course, it is a bit hard for me to keep you out of the barrier, right? So it is a bit tricky for me. So at that time, sometimes, you will be stressful. I'm putting all these comments before the examination. Okay, if they are unable to make this one serious, then of course in the end they will be having certain painful scenarios. It's not good for them. Okay, you understood or not?
Understood, sir.
That is my expectation. I had these bad experiences from your seniors. I was unable to concentrate more on, what they did. But the thing is that, I advise them, not like this. But, few students, they ignored that one. But in the end, they were able to pass that barrier. I mean, few students are very stressful these days. Repeaters, I can tell you. I don't want to create that situation for you all. So you have to be systematic. What is your target? I'm advising you this one again and again, because I just want to keep you all stay oriented, right? Your basic target is to study. Your parents are waiting for you. Your close relatives are waiting for you. Okay. Your own energy is very, very important just to achieve this. So please, don't go away from your primary target. Okay, there are many factors that are available at the university to disturb. But the thing is that you have to be in a position to manage all such factors in a systematic manner just to achieve your primary target. Then only your parents will be delighted, your close relatives will be delighted, and finally you will be having a very good life. Okay, that is very, very important. Don't forget your studies. You should study. You should earn good grades, not only for agricultural engineering, but also for other units as well. Then only you can have a very good GPA, and in the end, you will be in a position to select a good department, right? So you can have very good specialization. If you are able to do that, that activity, of course, you can have master degree, again, master of philosophy. Sometimes few students, those who are really interested, can go for PhD, right? Doctor of philosophy, that is the highest academic qualification. I have already discussed this one few days back, right? So that is my expectation. So, I'm a bit worried about your attendance, right? I'm keeping all these records. I will make a summary in the end. But, it's a bit problematic for me to compile all these in a systematic way. Any comments, students, from your side? No comments? Abhishan?
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir, new students tell they want more time to study in their chapter.
Yeah, that is my worry. Yes. Altogether, how many new students? I mean, please, next time if they do this activity, then I will ignore them, right? Because I am having these absentees for longer days, right? Then I will make an arrangement just to go with those who are actively participating in my lectures, right? Then it is because I have been advising them for long days. Is that correct? Every time, I advise, I'm spending my time. But the thing is that I'm unable to have the full capacity. You understood or not?
Understood.
I'm very nicely telling you all the real importance of this particular activity. I mean, attending lectures. But every time I'm having 15 students absent, yeah, sometimes 20. Today, I mean, the margin is very high. My junior staff members, they are also saying the same. When they are taking practicals, few students are absent, right? When they are taking lectures, few students are absent. So we have to identify the real cause which is preventing them attending from lectures. You understood or not? As a rep, your responsibility is to fix this issue. Otherwise, in the end, they will be having certain problematic scenarios. Shamina, you understood?
Understood, sir.
Yeah, please talk to, yes, please talk to your friends. Please ask them to attend classes. I'm telling all these points because I just want to make you all happy all the time, right? It's very, very important, right? If you are unable to listen to what I say, then of course you will be having certain problems. At that time, it's a bit hard for me to help because time is over. So you have to make a bund before water enters into a segment. Okay, so that is your responsibility. Okay, everyone can do that, but it is up to you. You have got your own maturity, right? Please convey this message to the absentees today, right, Shamina?
Okay, sir.
Right, good. If you get some difficulties, right, please talk to me well in advance because you are very new students. You are not knowing the environment. You may have difficulties, but you just talk to me just to fix your difficulties, right? I will not make you stressful, right? With that note, I will not repeat this one. Okay, I will not be talking about absentees in future, but in the end, when I am setting your paper, if problem starts, I am not responsible for that. Shamina, you got the point?
Yes, sir.
Right, good. But if you get some difficulties, you just talk to me well in advance, okay? On their behalf, right? Okay, Shamina?
Okay, sir.
Right, okay, good. So we will see this, right? So we will just have a look at it. The overland flow, I have already discussed. This is, of course, the lateral flow. We can see groundwater under the influence of gravity move towards lower elevations from where they may eventually discharge into the ocean. I have told you, if you have a slope, there is a possibility for you to have the groundwater movement into this slope because this is basically due to the gravity. So we will see this one later, right? A lot of this water is lost to the atmosphere by evaporation and transpiration before reaching the ocean. We have already discussed. We have studied about saline water. We have studied about brackish water. We have studied about fresh water. Okay. Then, of course, we will study this dynamics right later when you are coming to the first semester of the second. Please make a note on this. Talking about some students are talking about examination, right? Yes, before your examination, I will I will have a class just to discuss procedures that are to be followed to earn good grades. This is basically for agricultural engineering, right? So I will do that. Don't worry about that. I will tell you the structure of the exam paper. Then, of course, the way of answering. So I will teach you that one because you are very new to this system. So my duty is to make you all aware of our system that we practice at our department, right? So I will do that one for you. So don't worry about that. Few students are asking about the structure of the examination. Yes, we will do that. So it's a bit tricky for me to discuss that one at this point. But as time permits, in future, we will discuss that one. You got it? Students agree?
Okay, sir.
Yes, good. Bishan, finished?
No, sir.
Okay. South India, 004, finished?
No, sir.
Okay. Kiruni, 149,
Yes, sir.
finished?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. Shamira, 021, finished?
No, sir.
Okay. Jamsika, 036, finished?
No, sir.
Okay. Manashi, finished?
Yes, sir.
Manashi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you please explain me the process of evaporation?
Yes, sir. It's the process which water evaporate back into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
From soil surface.
How does this contribute to the hydrologic cycle?
Because a large amount of water evaporate back to the atmosphere as evaporation and as well as the transpiration.
Yeah, good, right. So this is how it works, right? Okay. Abhishan, what is the difference between saline water and brackish water? Abhishan?
Yes, sir.
So what is the difference between saline water and brackish water? So what is saline water? You know that? No?
No, sir.
Abhishan?
No, sir.
Okay. Yes, did I teach you that one? Midushana? Saline, brackish, fresh, no?
No, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Shamina, did I teach you saline water, brackish water, sea water? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You see, Manasi, did I teach you that one?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Then Satpuna Linkam, did I teach you that one?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Students, you see, I have already taught you that one. So please, this is the problem for me. Because, I just want to make you all clear. Please try to develop your mind just to concentrate. Concentration is the most important thing for achieving your highest academic distinction, right? So then, I can ask you a simple question. You are at this point, unable to understand what the contents have already been covered. Then, for your examination, I will be setting very nice questions. For that, you should be in a position to recall all contents that have already been completed. So that is very, very important. You think about my PhD, 3 years, in the end, it's very tricky. So this is the basic degree, first degree. So the level of complexity is very low compared to masters and PhD. So your target is to develop your capacity. So you should be in a position to keep your flow all the time in your mind. This is common for engineering, right? So it's very, very important. Students, I have already discussed all these. Your questions, okay, will be coming from sections that have been covered. Okay, I will not be setting questions from new sections. It is very complex for you to answer. You understood or not? Manashi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please, students, you please concentrate more on your studies. If it is physical mode, then of course I can guide you properly. I'm sorry for that. At this point, I'm unable to make some physical comments. But it is possible virtually. Therefore, I'm advising you all the time. I can move very quickly, but I don't want to do that because you will be losing the concentration. Though I move very slowly, many of you are unable to recall what I have discussed, right? So it's of course not good for you. Please try to concentrate, okay? You agree or you don't agree? You agree this comment or you are not willing to accept this? What is your opinion?
Agree, sir.
Yes, agree. I'm telling you the truth, right? This is the reality. Right, we'll see. So we will see this, right? So we will move to this one. You see, this is the hydrologic cycle. So don't worry about this, right? So we have studied everything. Evaporation, precipitation, surface flow, groundwater flow, infiltration, water table, subsurface flow, precipitation, evaporation. So we have covered everything. So if you want to discuss the process of hydrologic cycle, you have to include all these processes in a systematic way just to make your answer very comprehensive. So that is my expectation. You understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right, good. So with that note, don't worry about this, right? This is just a graphical representation of what we have studied so far, right? So you have to be systematic. So if you are able to develop this picture in your mind, you are very good at understanding what we have discussed, right? So for that, your concentration is very important. You see, this is infiltration, runoff, then you know the condition, then evaporation, transpiration, stream, storage. You have to link everything systematically, right? With that note, I am moving to the next one, right? So you see, this is a very good question. So you can expect this one, for your examination, not like this, but similar to this, right? Where does the hydrologic cycle start and end? So it's a very nice question. It has to be answered systematically. You see, there are points for your reference I have put, right? The hydrologic cycle has no starting point, but we will begin in the oceans since that is where most of Earth's water exists. I have told you, so ocean is very big compared to Earth's surface. Therefore, we make an assumption that this hydrologic cycle begins with ocean, right? The sun, which drives the hydrologic cycle, heats water in the oceans. So what is that? So it's very important. Evaporation is the key factor which is responsible for taking water into the atmosphere from water surfaces. Since we are having very large oceans, of course, it is important for us to concentrate more on the amount of heat which is falling on oceans. Then, of course, this is responsible for making the water evaporated into the atmosphere. You got the point? The relationship between pressure, density, and temperature in the atmosphere govern the hydrologic cycle. It's very, very important. We have to consider the pressure, density, and the temperature. All these processes are responsible for having, clouds formed. At the same time, it is responsible for regulating the condensation process. Then, of course, if you have certain scenarios, we are going to study this, okay, in detail later. if you are able to have very good scenario, there is a possibility for you to have condensation process of evaporated water. Then of course there is a possibility for you to have raindrops formed. Then of course they will be falling to the surface. That is called precipitation. You understood or not? The atmosphere is comprised of layers based on temperature. These layers are the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. We are going to study about these 4 layers because these layers are very, very important as far as atmospheric structure is concerned. So we will study about troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. So we will discuss about this one later. Please make a note on this. Navodi 058, you finished?
Writing, sir.
Okay. Ishanti 070,
Yes, sir.
you finished? No?
No, sir. No,
Okay, okay. Darsika 073,
Yes, sir.
you finished?
Writing, sir.
Yeah. Satkunalingam, finished?
No, sir, still writing.
Okay. Abhishan, finished?
No, sir.
Okay. Madhuvanti 086.
No, sir, I'm writing.
Okay. Inujan 090, finished? Right, good. Premnath, finished? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. Shamina, finished?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Shamina, what is the difference between percolation and depercolation? Because that's important for us to consider that one as far as hydrologic cycle is concerned. Can you explain that one? Difficult?
Percolation is the vertical movement of the infiltration water.
Yeah.
Deep percolation is the vertical movement of the percolation water.
Yeah, good. So first we will have the infiltration, then percolation, then depercolation. That is very, very important. If you get the groundwater, okay, percolation is responsible for that. Sometimes, yes, we will talk about depercolation. If you have groundwater, it is usually below the soil surface, then it is not possible for you to have that water evaporated back into the atmosphere. You understood or not? But yes, if you have certain amount of water moving into the oceans, then of course there is a possibility for evaporation. So we will see these things later, right? Okay, with that note, I am moving to this one. So it's very simple. You can simply see it. Okay. So this is the real scenario of the atmosphere. So these are basically layers of the atmosphere. So we will discuss this one later when you are coming to the third year, right? Environmental engineering, that is my specialization. So we will discuss this one later. I'm just putting this one to introduce certain terminologies. And again, I just want to make you all aware of atmospheric layers, right? So that is my expectation. If you consider the atmosphere, of course, it is having different layers. You can see the distance from the surface, right? So first layer is called troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. So this is very, very important. You know, this region is basically important for clouds. You see, troposphere. This is very close to the Earth's surface. This is the lowest layer. So when you go just above this, you know, it's a bit problematic. You know, people are putting satellite here. That is in the exosphere. So when you go to this one, you will lose the gravity, right? So there is no force towards the Earth's surface because we have gone beyond that limit. Okay, that is very, very important. So when you talk about this one, you see the temperature is also very different. If you consider this thermosphere, it is of course having very high temperature. It is around 100, yes, you can say 1500 degree. It means 1500 degree, right? So it's very, very important for you to consider. This mesosphere, you know, it's a bit tricky. Sometimes you may have very low temperature. That is also possible, right? So here you can have clouds, but this profile we will see. There are changes from one point to another point. So we will discuss all these. My expectation is that you should understand these terms. You should know this one. It means I can tell you this one. Atmosphere is having different layers such as troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. All these layers are having specific characters. Temperature is different, pressure is different. Then I can say altitude is different. Everything is different. For a particular layer, we can have certain processes that are specific. Then, of course, as far as clouds are concerned, they are available in troposphere. You understood or not? Yes or no? Clear?
Sir.
Yes. You just write these names only, right? Don't worry about these things. We will discuss all these later, right? You just put this one, atmospheric layers. Then you just write these things, these 5 layers, right? Then we will discuss this one later. Sakronalingam, finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Abhishan, finished?
Yes, sir.
Abhishan, what is troposphere? Can you explain?
It's a lower layer of the Earth atmosphere.
Yeah, good. It's a lower layer of the atmosphere. Yes. Right. Shamina, finished? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. Midushana? Vidushana, are you available? Finished? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Okay. You finished?
Yes, sir. Finished.
Okay. Manasi, finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So we will go to another technical point that is called left straight. Have you heard about this? So we will discuss this one. This is very, very important. And we can say this, yes, this factor is responsible for having temperature changes, right? We are going to discuss this one in detail, right? The rate at which temperature decreases with the increase of altitude of any particular time. So that is left straight. So when you increase the altitude, there is a possibility for you to have reduced temperature. Usually, if you consider this normal air, right, 6.5 degree per kilometer. So that is possible if you have normal air. So when you increase the altitude, you will have this reduction. But it is 10 degrees for dry air. So we will see the properties of air later. So this analysis is called psychrometrics. How do we call it? That is called psychrometrics. So we will study that one in detail when you are coming to the first semester of the third year, right? So we will have different processes, we will have different charts to do this analysis. But I am just introducing the term now because that is important for you to recall when you are coming to the first semester of the third year, right? So that is important. Don't forget this one. That is called psychrometrics. But this is of course important for you to remember this one because left straight is a very good technical term responsible for explaining certain critical processes that are relevant to atmosphere, right? So that is important. The general decrease in temperature through the troposphere, you can have, yes, that is also possible. It is common here. You see this troposphere, so that is very close to Earth's, close to the Earth's surface, right? You can have it from 0 to 10 kilometers. Okay. Then rise in temperature from the height of 20 to 50 kilometers is caused by the layer of ozone. Have you heard about ozone? Ozone is a layer which is responsible for preventing unwanted radiations which are coming from sun. Okay, coming from the sun. So that layer is very responsible for preventing bad effects that are caused by this radiation. If you are damaging the ozone layer, we will see the process of the formation of ozone layer. Usually for the development of ozone layer, we need to have oxygen radicals. Radicals? Usually oxygen is having the form, how do we call it? O2, right? 2 oxygen atoms. If you are able to add another oxygen atom, then of course you will say O3, that is ozone. You understood? Yes or no? So
Yes, sir.
just to develop that O3, yes, just to develop that O3 layer, we need to have O dot, that is oxygen radical, right? That is developed by the breakage of O2 molecules. So we will see that chemistry later, right? This is happening at very high temperature. So we will see that, right? That layer is very, very important to absorb shortwave solar radiation. Okay, releasing some of the heat as as a usable form. Okay, that is very, very important. These days most of the countries are talking about greenhouse effect and global warming, right? So this factor is very, very important to explain that process. So we will study all these processes later when you are coming to the second semester of the third year, that is environmental engineering, right? So we will discuss that one later. Please make a note on this. Yeah, finished?
No, sir.
Okay. Shamina?
No, sir.
Okay. Finished? 005.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. With that note, Shamina finished? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. With that note, I will stop. Okay. We will have a discussion next time. Before that, you have to fix all your problems. Try to concentrate more on your studies. Next time, I will be moving little fast. Are you okay with that? No? Yes or no? Can I move little fast? Okay. Yes. What we can do is that, yes, we have got 2 or 3 minutes, right? So if you get some difficulties, if you get some comments, please put your comments into the chat box, then leave. Thanks for coming. Have a good day.